All right. It says sadistic punishments so common.
This was just a common thing that they would do to us. Sadistically punish us. Read.
They were given names like the four posts or the ladder.
We don't.
Historians wrote there was even a technique of stuffing enslaved people with gunpowder.
You think the Most High not going to do nothing about this? Go ahead.
To blow them up like cannonballs. Described as burning a little powder in arse.
Right, so look at this. So this is what he said after we killed them, 1804 massacre. Yes, we have rendered to these true cannibals war for war, crime for crime. You guys committed a crime against us, like sadistic cannibals. We committed crimes against you. When you read about how we was getting down on them, Levi was coming in with the staff, with the Edomite baby's head on the staff, decapitated the baby head, put it on the staff, walked around with it, came to kill more with it. That's called crime for crime. Right? It says crime for crime, outrage for outrage. You did outrageous things to us. We're doing outrageous things to you. He said, yes, I have saved my country. I have avenged America. But watch this. Listen, this brother, man, this is one of the most special individuals that you've heard about this side of captivity. Right? So he said, this is amazing, right? So he said crimes. He said crimes, the most atrocious, such as were until then never heard of. That's what they did to us. And would cause nature to shudder, have been perpetrated. The measure was overheaped. At length the hour of vengeance has arrived. And the implacable enemies of the rights of man have suffered the punishment due to their crimes. We killed them. And then when you understand there's a rebellion, then there's the 1804 massacre, which is whatever left of French people on the island, eradicated. My arm raised over their heads, right, travailing, has too long delayed to strike at that signal which the justice of God has urged. Meaning God urged me to kill these people, right? At that signal which the justice of God has urged, your hands righteously armed have brought the axe upon the ancient tree of slavery. Interesting phraseology. This priest and prophet he's bringing it out. And prejudices. In vain had time, and more especially the infernal politics of Europeans, surrounded it with triple brass. You have stripped it of its armor. You have placed it upon your hearts, that you may become like your natural enemies, cruel and merciless. So he said, we, the Levites, we had to be cruel and merciless. Well, didn't it say cruel is our anger? These crackers from France, they had the right niggas for the job. Oh, we got to become cruel and merciless to beat these cruel animals? We are the niggas that can be cruel and merciless. Thus saith the Lord. Watch. So it says, you may become cruel and merciless, like an overflowing might torrent that tears down all opposition. Your vengeful fury has carried away everything in its impetuous course. Thus perish all tyrants over innocents, all oppressors of mankind. Right? Hit your priest.
Isaiah 49:24 in the GNT. Can you take away a soldier's loot? Can you rescue the prisoners of a tyrant?
Yeah. What, we were under a tyrant. Can the prisoners of a tyrant be rescued? Read.
The Lord replies, that is just what is going to happen.
Yeah. And he gave a small glimpse of it during the Haitian Revolution.
Yeah.
But we see what's happened since then. Because as great as our Haitian forefathers are, they are not Hamashiach Yahushua. There's some of the prophets coming back, some of the Maccabees coming back. But they're not Hamashiach Yahushua, and the Most High has appointed him as our vessel for salvation out of this. Right? Go ahead.
That is just what is going to happen. The soldiers' prisoners will be taken away, and the tyrant's loot will be seized. I will fight against whoever fights you, and I will rescue your children.
That's powerful. Get that Deuteronomy 33 as well. He said, what then? Bent for many ages under an iron yoke, the sport of the passions of men, of their injustice, and of their caprice of fortune, mutilated victims of the cupidity of white Frenchmen. after having fattened without toils, this insatiate bloodsuckers. He said they're insatiable.
Yeah.
Just like the scriptures say.
Because you are not hated blood.
Blood
shall pursue
Blood
you.
and also say what I'm thinking about Habakkuk 2.
Yeah, yep.
Right.
Larger the desires hell. Cannot be satisfied.
Luis, with the patience and resignation unexampled, we should again have seen that sacrilegious horde make an attempt upon our destruction. That's what he called the white man, a sacrilegious horde. Without any distinction of sex or age. Give me Deuteronomy 28. It says that this white man had no distinction of sex or age. What does that mean? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Read on.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right. We should have seen that sacrilegious horde make an attempt upon our destruction without any distinction of sex or age, male, man or woman, young or old. And we, men without energy, of no virtue or no delicate sensibility, should not we have plunged in their breasts the dagger of desperation? He's saying logically, we killed these people. Where is that vile Haitian so unworthy of his regeneration? Who thinks he has not accomplished the decrees of the eternal by exterminating these bloodthirsty times? He basically said, we have earned salvation. This was the theology of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. We have earned salvation by killing these people, by avenging our people, bro.
I want every single black and Hispanic person to understand. If you read this and you're sitting here and you're nodding your head and it's making you feel good, Christianity teaches you that you're wrong for that.
You're the devil.
Yes, you're wrong.
You're not saved.
You in this this is powerful right here. This is like revolution talk.
Hey, listen, man. Look, Judah, man. Give me a second, Judah. Malcolm X, fuck him. Salakia, we love you, Malcolm, but just for a second. Martin, all of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. Only nigga that's up here is Khalid, since Christ himself, since Yahushua.
Yes.
It's Khalid. He the only one I'm going to put next to this. He just said, where is the vile Haitian so unworthy of his regeneration? Who thinks he has not accomplished the decrees of the eternal by exterminating these bloodthirsty? He said, if you think that you did not do the work of God by killing the French man, nigga, something is wrong with you. Have done the work. God has ordered you. See, man, let me tell you something. This brother was in the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Oh, my God, man. That right there, that is a hero. Oh, that's a hero.
It sounds like a song. That's a song. What they call it? Imprecatory. Watch this. Imprecatory song. Watch this.
The imprecatory song.
Watch this.
It's a Haitian party tonight, y'all.
Watch this. Imprecatory psalms contained within the book of Psalms of the Hebrew Bible are those that imprecate, invoke judgment, calamity, or curses upon one's enemies, or those perceived as the enemies of God. That sounds like an imprecatory psalm.
That's right. He said, where is the vile Haitian, so unworthy of his regeneration, who thinks he has not accomplished the decrees of the eternal by exterminating these bloodthirsty tigers? That man is amazing. That man is special, right? If there is one, let him fly. Indignant nature discards him from our bosom. Basically, if any one Haitian thinks that he did not do the work of God in this rebellion, death to him.
Throw the whole nigga away.
throw the nigga. That's what he said. Let him fly. Yeah. Discard him from our bosom. Throw the whole nigga away. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen to him. 2/3. They're going to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Let him hide his shame far from hence. The air we breathe is not suited to his gross organs.
Oh my! We don't deserve to be breathing from the same air.
We don't need to deserve air. Look, it is pure air of liberty, August and triumph. Yes, we have rendered to these true cannibals war for war, crime for crime, outrage for outrage. Yes, I have saved my country. I have avenged America. The of all I make of it in the face of the earth and heaven constitutes my pride and my glory. Of what consequence to me is the opinion which contemporary and future generations will pronounce on my conduct.
I don't
I don't give a fuck what anybody
say.
thinks. Yeah. I have performed my duty. I enjoy my own appropriation. For me, that is sufficient. But what do I say? The preservation of my unfortunate brothers, the testimony of my own conscience, are not my only recompense. I have seen two classes of men. Watch it. This is a prophet of God. I have seen two classes of men born to cherish, assist, and succor one another. Meaning, I see two different type of people, but their purpose is to love each other and help each other. Watch this. Mixed in a word and blended together, crying for vengeance and disputing the honor of the first blow. Blacks and
no, it's no.
I can't even. You gonna have to read that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. It says, let's see where I'll start. I ain't gonna lie. I wish I was the one that was going out there right now because it's gonna be hard for me to read it. Okay. It says, but what do I say? The preservation of my unfortunate brothers, the testimony of my own conscience are not my only recompense. I have seen two classes of men, born to cherish, assist, and succor one another, mixed in a word and blended together, crying for vengeance and disputing the honor of the first blow. Blacks and yellows. Who is he talking about? He's talking about Hispanics, blacks and Hispanics, whom the refined duplicity of Europeans has for a long time endeavored to divide. God damn, bro. This isn't what he's telling you guys. He's literally telling us blacks and Hispanics are both facing the same exact thing, that we are one manner of people, and these white people are a completely separate group of people. And this is exactly what the Bible says. Let me read this real quick. I got two scriptures. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. That's what he's saying, what the Bible says. We're two completely distinct people, two entirely different groups of people. Romans 9 and 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? That's us, so-called blacks and Hispanics, vessels of honor. They are the vessels of dishonor. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? That's what they are. That he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy. That's literally what he said. Let me read it one more time. Blacks and yellows, whom the refined duplicity of Europeans has for a long time endeavored to divide. You who are now consolidated and make but one family. This, man, we might need to do a whole lesson on this. One family. Ezekiel 37 and 21. It says, Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 21. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. One king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
Man, y'all, all praise to the Most High God, man. We got to understand something. What we're doing now in 2022, we're picking up on this work. This is not a new work in the earth. Many men have been forerunners through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem. Like the way that he's talking, like he sounds like nothing but a Hebrew Israelite. He doesn't sound like he's anything else in the world but a Hebrew Israelite. He sounds exactly how we sound now. And I've read this years ago, but man, the way it just hit right there, man. I mean, we're doing the work that our forefathers really laid out. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua brought the thumb off. All you got to do, Sister Keek says she wants the literature. All you got to do literally is just put in proclamation, the Liberty or Death Proclamation, Jacques Dessalines. Just so y'all can just put in, you can put in his last name, Dessalines, right? So Man, yeah, that just was a lot. So, like you said, I've seen two classes of men born to cherish, assist, and secure each other. These people need to love and help each other, mixed in a word and blended together, right? Crying for vengeance and disputing the honor of the first blow. Blacks and yellows, whom the refined duplicity of Europeans has for a long time endeavored to divide. Man, this is nothing short of a prophet of God. You have to understand that. Like you said, they called him the Black Moses. Little did they know Moses was already black, right? So, boom, you who are now consolidated and and make but one family. Without doubt, it was necessary that our perfect reconciliation. See, look, and it said our perfect reconciliation should be sealed with the blood of your butchers. But notice it said our reconciliation. So what is he saying? We
back.
were together already. If he just thought we're Africans and we're from Africa and they're from the Americas and our first meeting was in slavery, then why are we being reconciled? Perfect reconciliation should be sealed with the blood of your butchers, right? Meaning the blood of the white man is what is going to reconcile us. Interesting. Similar calamities have hung over your prescribed heads. A similar ardor to strike your enemies has signalized you. The like fate is reserved for you, and the like interest must therefore render you forever one, indivisible, and inseparable. That was Emperor Dessalines' view of Black and Latino and Native Indian people. That's what his goal was. He was writing this proclamation because just like this white boy who killed 10 people, he did a manifesto to inspire his people into action. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he was doing the same thing. I want Black and Hispanic people to rise up against white people. That's what he was saying. Now, he wanted to do it in arms, and the missing key here is how we have to do it is doing what he said when he said mixed in a word, blended together. No, he said when he said two classes of men born to cherish, assist, and succor one another. That is actually what Blacks and Latinos and Native Indians what we have to do. We have to cherish, assist, and succor one another. And that's going to bring this down more than any bullet is going to bring any. What's going to bring this place down is Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. These two classes of people, right? Cherishing, assisting, and securing one another, right? The Europeans have long time endeavored to divide you, right? But who are now consolidated and to make but one family, right? So that's important. That's important to understand. That's all scriptural. Similar calamities is he said the like fate is reserved for you, and the like interest must therefore render you forever one, indivisible, and inseparable. So he's prophesying that Blacks and Latinos have a destiny to be one, like you just read in Ezekiel. Of course, a Levite prophet, right? Maintain the precious concord, the happy harmony amongst yourselves. It is the pledge of your happiness, your salvation. Your salvation, the salvation of Blacks and Latinos is when we can become one and get vengeance on our enemies. This guy is a Hebrew Israelite if I've ever heard of one. Go ahead.
This is Zechariah chapter 9, verse 12. Let me read it in the NLT because he talked about salvation. Matter of fact, Zechariah 9, and I'm going to start. Let me see what it says in the GNT. I'm going to read it in the 11 in the NLT. Zechariah 9:11. Because of the covenant I have made with you, sealed with blood, I will free your prisoners from death in a waterless dungeon. Come back to the place of safety, all you prisoners who still have hope. I promise this very day that I will repay 2 blessings for each of your troubles. I'm reading the next one, the King James. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim,
bow kingdom. Go ahead.
And raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. That's it right there.
That's right.
I'm going to go to the verse 16. And the Lord their God shall save them. That's our salvation when we come together and go against these people. The Lord their God shall save them in that day, as the flock of his people. I'm reading the NLT. On that day, the Lord their God will rescue his people. Just as a shepherd rescues his sheep, they will sparkle in his land like jewels on a crown.
Yeah, so this actually is the oldest Hebrew Israelite book, I think.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I concur.
This is it, 1804. Take that to the bank, right? Listen, here's what he said about blacks and Hispanics. It says, maintain the precious concord, the happy harmony amongst yourselves. It is the pledge of your happiness, your salvation, your success. It is the secret of being invincible. If blacks and Hispanics came together and loved each other, we would be invincible, and we would be saved. Oh my goodness. It is necessary in order to strengthen these ties to recall to your remembrance the catalog of atrocities committed against our species, the massacre of the entire population of this island, mediated in the silence and sang-froid of the cabinet, the execution of that abominable project to me unblushingly proposed and already begun by the French, when the calmness and serenity of a countenance accustomed to similar crimes. Guadeloupe pillaged and destroyed, its ruins still reeking with blood of children, women, and old men put to the sword. Pledge himself the victim of their craftiness. Pillage himself the victim of their craftiness. After having basely betrayed his country and his brothers. So he's talking about some dude who a sellout in Guadeloupe. The brave and immortal Del Greci, blown into the air with the fort which he defended rather than accept their offered chains. Magnanimous warrior, the noble death, far from enfeebling our courage, serves only to rouse within us the determination of avenging or of following thee. Shall I again recall to your memory the plots lately framed at Jeremy, right? The terrible explosion which was to be the result, notwithstanding the generous pardon granted to these incorrigible beings at the expulsion of the French army. Basically, something that happened down there, some sellouts was possibly going to collaborate with the French, right? In dread harbinging of death. The frightful despotism exercised in Martinique. Unfortunate people of Martinique, could I but fly to your assistance and break your fetters. Alas, an insurmountable barrier separates us. Perhaps a spark from the same fire which inflames us will align into your bosoms. Perhaps at the sound of this commotion, basically, he's hoping again to inspire.
He's going to light a fire. That's what he said, light a fire.
I'm trying to light a fire under y'all for y'all to start a revolution yourselves. Basically, our mentality was we did it, so basically everybody else can do it too. Perhaps at the sound of this commotion, suddenly awakening from your lethargy, basically y'all are asleep. With arms in your hands, you will reclaim your sacred and imprescriptible rights. After the terrible example which I have just given, the sooner of later divine justice will unchain on earth some mighty winds above the weakness of the vulgar for the destruction and terror of the wicked. Tremble, tyrants, usurpers, scourgers of the new world. Our daggers are sharpened. Your punishment is ready. Listen, man. This dude right here, one cold Haitian dude right here, right? 60,000 men equipped in order to war, obedient to my orders, burned to offer a new sacrifice to the manes of their assassinated brothers. Give me sacrifice of Basra. He's saying, we're gonna offer your dead. Oh, remember? Oh, hold on. The Captain Tazama, did you say that you would kill somebody?
Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a great sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Get the other one. I have given people for thee.
Okay, that's Isaiah. I'm gonna read one more verse in Isaiah 34. Verse 8. Why is this happening? Why is God doing this? Isaiah 34:8 in the NLT. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel.
The so-called white man shall be paid back for what he did to the blacks and to the yellows. Wait a minute. Now, Hassan, to you Aboriginal niggas, oh no, the indigenous people are black. Why is Jacques Dessalines saying that they're the yellows? Why is he calling them the yellows then?
Yeah,
if you're Negro only, yeah. The greatest hero in the Americas, period. The greatest black man to come to the Americas, period, is Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And I'll debate anybody on that, right? He said the blacks and the yellows. Take that to the bank. Go ahead.
Isaiah 43:3. For I am Yahweh thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Sheba for thee. Since you are precious in my sight, you have been honorable, and I have loved you. Therefore will I give men for thee.
I will kill people for you. I will sacrifice human beings for you. Go ahead.
And people for thy life.
So again, it says 60,000 men equipped and inured. So that's how deep the Haitian army was. 60,000 men equipped, inured to war, obedient to my orders, burned to offer a new sacrifice to the manes of their assassinated brothers. Let that nation come who may be mad and daring enough to attack. He basically called every nation in the world out for a head up. I got 60,000. Hey, listen.
150 shooters.
Hey, no, 150 shooters in Atlanta. What did the Future say? I got 1 million Zoes on my roster. That's what he just said. I got 60,000 Z's on my roster. What y'all want? Let who? Deuteronomy 33 aside. This brother understood what was going on aside. He understood that he had so many. Listen, I got 60,000 Z's on my roster. I'll go up now. I'll go up against with the Russians, the North Koreans. Let's do it. Whoever, let's do it. Go ahead.
Isaiah.
Now imagine this: 144,000. If we talk about what 60,000 can do, more than double that, and all the tribes. I'm talking about all the hardest Judites, all the wildest Jamaicans, all the craziest, stabbingest Sicarii you ever seen in Zebulonites. Every Ephraimite with a box cutter, an ice pick, every Simeonite with a machete. 12,000 coming for your ass. Good luck. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 33:8. And of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah.
Read on.
Get to the point. Verse 11. Bless the Lord his substance.
I say, bless the Lord his substance. Read on.
And accept the work of his hands.
Read on. The work of his hands accepted. The sacrifice that he's talking about. Go ahead.
It says, smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again.
Boom. He knew it. That's why he said, I got 60,000 Zoes on my roster. What do you want to do? Anybody. Watch. Let's go on. He said, he said, let that nation come who may be mad and daring enough, basically crazy enough to attack me. Already at its approach, the irritated genius of Haiti rising out of the bosom of the ocean appears. His menacing aspect throws the waves into commotion, excites tempests, and with his mighty hand disperses ships or dashes them into pieces. So what he's saying is the island itself is fighting for us because of how rough the terrain is. And also the mosquitoes helped us win that too. They were destroying them damn French man, the mosquitoes. Read that.
Revelation 12:16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
See that the earth helped us. Most High gives us help from the earth itself, right? That's even a part of our biological makeup, the melanin, all that. That's a part of the earth helping us, right? Because those are the things that we have on our side, natural things. Pieces. To his formidable voice, the laws of nature pay obedience. Diseases, plagues, famines, conflagration, poison are his constant attendants. Meaning, this is what's going on in Haiti, right? Famine, poison, diseases. You come here, you're going to get that. But why calculate on the assistance of the climate and of the elements? Why count on the earth helping me? Have I forgot that I command people of no common caste, right? When he says I command people of no common caste, what he's talking about is Haitians come from royal lines in Africa, right? Like the kingdom of Dahomey, especially, right? Be it the Awe, the Fon, the Ashanti. That's why he said no common caste. Brought up in adversity, right? Adversity makes the best niggas, right? Whose audacious, daring frowns at the obstacles are and increases by danger. Basically, the way we are naturally, we're not afraid of obstacles and danger and problems, right? We face it. Let them come then, these homicidal cohorts, the white men. I wait for them with firmness and with a steady eye. I abandon to them freely the seashore, and the places where cities have existed. But woe to those who may approach too near to the mountain. Basically, I'll let you, if you niggas want it, come. I'll let you land your ship on this shore. I'll let you walk up on here. You come into these mountains, nigga, and that's where the term guerrilla fight hits the guerrilla Hebrew, the guerrilla fighting that we did in the mountains, like the guerrillas be in the mountains throwing rocks, knocking people over, doing unconventional forms of warfare, right? So it says, I abandon to them freely the seashore and the palaces where the cities have existed. But woe to those who may approach too near the mountains. It were better for them that the sea receive them into profound abyss than to be devoured by the anger of the children of Haiti.
It's better for your ship to sink.
Man, let me tell you something, man. That was a mighty prophet of God. Mighty prophet of God. A mighty man, powerful man. And it's, what we are doing this work through the Spirit being dispensed more as the time gets to the end. We understand that the Most High enabled them at that time to utilize their might to do things. But guess what? What he wanted was for all of us to love each other, and we didn't do it. He was even backstabbed by a wicked Negro and a terror Edomite. So we understand in this time through the Spirit, as knowledge is increased, that we need to put our emphasis now on that love, loving each other as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, following these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what's going to actually get us up out of here.